Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to the Den of the Drake. Other dragons hoard gold, while I hoard internet cringe. Writing for a Dungeons & Dragons game isn't easy. There's a lot of stuff you gotta consider that you wouldn't normally... Ah, crap! You're late. Larry, we may have opened 30 minutes ago, but I am the chef de cuisine of this kitchen, and I will not tolerate disrespect for my underlings. Cut the crap, Drake. You know damn well that this is yet another one of your stupid get-rich-quick schemes you cooked up after watching the last 15 minutes of Ratatouille. It seems that in your quest for that Michelin star, you've forgotten the tiny little detail that neither of us have ever cooked anything that didn't come from a microwave. Lucky for you, I've been keeping everyone distracted by reheating and plating food from Carl's Jr. Will you relax? I've been preparing by playing the fantasy and sci-fi role-playing game Apotheosis. It's the RPG where it's your actions, not your class, that determines how you level up. Thanks to Apotheosis' dynamic and classless progression system, I can develop my character the way I want by having experiences relating to the skills I want to learn. Well, have you had any experiences that make you a good chef? Ahhh, no. Well, congrats, numbnuts. You're stuck as a character that doesn't know how to cook. And at a time where that just walked through our door. What is it? It's a food critic, Drake. He's gonna recognize Microwave Carl's Jr. when he tastes it. Oh, shit. So what are we gonna do? Start throwing crap in pans and pray. What ingredients do we have to work with? I stocked the fridge with all the playable races you can find in Apotheosis. Human, dwarf, elf, skinless magic person, orc, ghost man, halfling, brain parasite, fish person, alien, robot, furry, Drake, the customization options are limitless. I can't fit it all in the oven. We got no time. Bake that motherfucker and call it a lasagna. What are you doing? Well, right now I'm using Apotheosis' energy point system to react dynamically to the situation. In Apotheosis, action is exciting, fast, and dynamic because players can spend EP to do stuff like repositioning and taking cover, which increases engagement for players since they can respond to enemy attacks. I would hardly call a visit from a food critic an enemy attack. It's an attack on my self-esteem! Lasagna's done. If you have any finishing touches to save this thing, now is the time. On it. I just downloaded the brand new Apotheosis app for Android. It'll let me create characters, download pre-made characters, and share characters between devices. All for free. Let's just hope it can make a lasagna. And done. Let's take a look at our masterpiece. We're boned. Very unique. Dynamic and customizable, fast-paced and entertaining, and 20% off digital copies of the game for anyone who clicks the link down in the description. Gentlemen, this is one of the best experiences I've had in my entire career. You're talking about the lasagna, right? Oh, no. I was talking about Apotheosis. I give this game 5 out of 5 stars. You'd be a fool not to pick up a copy for yourself. As for your restaurant, I will be filing a lawsuit as soon as I return from getting my stomach pumped. Good day, gentlemen. Maybe I should go back and watch the first 96 minutes of Ratatouille. Maybe you should go f*** yourself. Apotheosis Fantasy and Sci-Fi editions are available now. Pick yourself up a digital or hardcover copy of the game and experience for yourself what true RPG freedom tastes like. Apotheosis has been a regular sponsor of the channel, and I'm always grateful for their support. Links are in the description. Well, apparently that rat bastard was only exaggerating when he said anyone can cook. Oh well, enough dwelling on that garbage, on to the video. Oh, the big bad evil guy, the BBEG, the main villain of your D&D campaign and my favorite kind of NPC to create. This guy or gal is the one who got somewhat uncomfortable with the stick up their butt and decided that they were gonna do something quirky to throw the entire world topsy-turvy. And now it's up to your players to go clean up their mess, and it's your privilege as a DM to decide what manner of quirkiness this colorful character engages in, and what is the nature of the stick lodged so tightly inside of their rectum. And people say writing villains is hard. I want to say at least 4 of my top 5 favorite characters I've written for D&D have been big bad evil guys, so I find myself feeling a little sad for the players on the other side of the DM screen who are forced to write characters that mind their manners in the context of the setting, because they'll never know how good it feels to be bad. Or will they? Of course they won't. What are you f***ing stupid? If you've been with me for this long, you'll know that stupid has never stopped anybody. Add in someone simping for the stupid, and you got a hopeless dumpster fire that puts even the presidential debates to shame. The story I have for you today stars a god-awful DM who loves his new girlfriend only as much as he hates other people having fun. Yes, dear listener, I think you see where this is going. This man gave his girlfriend the gift of a punching bag made of all the other party members by making her the big bad evil guy. Apparently, nobody told him that the real purpose of a BBEG is to get their shit rocked by bands of homeless psychopaths calling themselves adventurers. Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and dive right into the horrifying world of r/RPG-Horror-Stories. Enjoy. This week's story comes from Reddit user Zenith135 and is titled DM Mick's Girlfriend BBEG Ignores All Player Input. TLDR. DM lets girlfriend be the big bad evil guy and make all decisions about the game. Special cameo from alien cyborg furry chimera from the future. I just joined a group a couple weeks ago and have been meaning to make a post about it in RPG Horror Stories, but here goes. DM posts online looking for players. I haven't played or DM'd in about a year and I am desperate for a game, so I sign up. There's a few questions for me that I have to answer. You know, standard stuff, how long you've been playing, what kind of character you're thinking about, are you okay with no evil characters, etc, etc. I answer them, but as someone who has DM'd for a decade, I have some questions of my own. How long have they been DMing? About a year. This is their second game and it started 2 months before I joined. How many players? They're trying to set the foundation for a living world where other people will be able to DM in the setting, so they currently have 20 plus players, but only 6 or 7 show up for a given session. They run 3 days a week, so you can't make it? No problem. Everyone just uses their Discord names rather than real names. Okay, any homebrew or house rule changes to 5e that I should know about? Yes, a few of them. As they start to go into them, I realize that this is not gonna be a great game, but I don't really care that much. I'm just here to play, so I'm not super invested. They tell me to start at level 2 with 150 gold. Okay, cool. I use D&D Beyond for the sheets, sure, and I roll for the stats. Cool. End up rolling really well. I got a 17, 14, 17, 17, 13, and 17. DM watched me roll and is amazed. I put the 14 in Wisdom and the 13 in Intelligence. If an attack meets a creature's AC exactly, you gotta roll to dodge. Whatever, lots of newer DMs do this. There are apparently glowing scrolls in the world that allow you to instantly level up, no matter how much XP you have. Red flag. The campaign is going to level 100, switching from XP to milestone after level 20. Huge red flag. Pause. I ask, how is that gonna work? What features do you get at level 21 of Fighter? 22? 47? They say that they're gonna be pushing for multi-classing at higher levels, or not using class feature rewards for higher levels. So I'm assuming things like feats and epic boons. Still very weird though. Everyone can suggest a custom race for their character, and the DM will discuss with another person about it to see if they believe it fits the world. This other person helped design the setting. Okay, great! I've been wanting to play a sentient undead character for a while. We'll circle back to that. Same as above, you can create a custom item for your character to start with. Cool. I ended up asking for a great axe with the finesse property and was granted it. Sweet. Barbarian Rogue, here I come. There is also a homebrew banking system in place, and in order to encourage players to use it, you cannot carry more than 2,000 gold on your person at once because it's too heavy? Strength of 8, 2,000 gold. Strength of 24 when the barbarian hits level 20, 2,000 gold. But that's fine, my character is a vagrant who doesn't use money and scavenges for everything he needs, and carries everything he owns on his person in a torn up duffel bag. There's some custom items that can be bought, so I spend my starting 150 gold with DM permission to get one of them, which is a special gemstone. It says, gives advantage on perception, stealth, medicine, and insight checks. Allows for 2 points of advantage on listed checks. Fuck yes. Barbarian rogue who rolls 3 times and takes the best on stealth, perception, and insight? I'm set. Now for my custom race. I want to play a Langul from the Sandy Peterson Cthulhu Mythos book. I know they're a little overpowered, so I even volunteer to lose the ability to gain skill bonuses and to lose the claw attacks. DM tells me no, I'll need to pick a different race. Okay, that's fine. I knew it was a long shot. I decide to just be a half-orc and ask, out of curiosity, was there something specific that was too OP? Oh no, we just felt that the race didn't fit the world. Nothing wrong mechanically. Fair enough, I guess. First session. My character's introduced alongside another new player. They are a paladin. We decide we've been traveling together for a while after Paladin helped get my character out of a bad spot a while ago. Every player gets a bag of holding my first session in, but wait, a bag of holding makes items within weight lists. Can't I just put gold inside the bag of holding? No, you can't put money inside these bags of holding. Other ones you can, but not the free ones we were given. Whatever, vagrant, don't care. We exit the tavern we were in after some fun RP. The group is very friendly and fun, and they seem to gel really well together. As we are leaving, we notice something strange glowing on a nearby tree. K Heart M is written in glowing script. The other players have been playing for a few sessions, so I'm thinking that this is probably something important with some NPCs they met previously. So Paladin and I don't have any idea what it could mean. Other players talk over it for a while, and the DM just keeps repeating, "Think deeper about it." And "You're not thinking realistically. Think realistically." Literally says those phrases like 5 or 6 times each. Nearly 20 minutes of players trying to figure it out, and the DM giving us nothing, and it changes to be full names rather than initials. One of the players finally puts it together. This is the DM announcing that they started dating someone IRL. I get pretty pissed off at this point, saying that I thought it was pretty irrelevant to do this. The DM says, sometimes a little irrelevance is needed. I respond, yeah, I agree, but this is the first session for 2 new players and you decided to spend a third of it so far on a dating announcement. Like, congrats, dude, but I don't really care about your love life. I'm here to play D&D, not make random guesses about your love life. The other players agree and are also angry, so I feel a little more justified. Again, we all use Discord names, so most of us didn't even recognize the DM's name. After a while, DM has to take a break for 10 to 15 minutes and leaves us for a bit. Here's where things start going incredibly. Most groups I've been left in, if left alone for 15 minutes, will either just go to the bathroom or check social media or whatever. But this group instantly falls into very natural and authentic roleplay, such as asking new players what their characters have done up to this point, offering to help them learn about the new land they've found themselves in, and talking about wanting to teach my character how to make some nice stews out of foraged foods and rabbit or squirrel. Genuinely some of the best role-playing I have ever been a part of. The DM comes back while we're talking about rabbit stew and instantly cuts us off, saying that there are no rabbits, and jumps into whatever they were saying. I would kill for a group that roleplays as freely as a DM, and this one is actively squashing it. Well, I wasn't kidding when I said this guy hated fun. Let's talk about it. First off, let's talk homebrew. For those of you unaware, the term homebrew essentially refers to when a DM or player takes a look at the rules presented by their chosen system and says, needs more spice, before building off of or completely rewriting the rules for their own games. Example, no officer, I'm not distilling moonshine in my basement to avoid paying for a liquor license, I'm just homebrewing. Homebrewing can be as simple as changing the rules to allow potion drinking as a bonus action, or as complicated as creating a whole new class, item, or monster. The official material gives you lore and rules for what happens when a dragon becomes a lich, but that vampire dragon is gonna be up to you, champ. But what does all good homebrew have in common? It's designed specifically for the purpose of adding to the fun that you and the players are supposed to be having in your game. Bonus action potions are fun because no one wants to use their turn to suck on a bottle. And the blood dragon is fun because it sounds metal as fuck. But your homebrew can easily go sour when it actively takes away from the fun you're having. Example, limiting your party to 2,000 gold pieces, creating a mechanic where level ups can come from sheer luck, and taking the already uninteresting level progression from 5e and multiplying it by 5. I would like to put forward the question, what is the actual purpose of these homebrews? Because I can't think of anything other than change for the sake of change, which is actually something I can understand yearning for. The need to be original and creative as a DM is definitely a relatable one, and the amount of times I've tried and failed to shoehorn a fun but balanced bleed mechanic into 5e is more than I'd care to admit. But before you even begin to think about creating a homebrew for your game, the very first question you have to ask is, will the implementation of this change be fun for everyone here? If the answer isn't a resounding absolutely, then throw it out. It has already failed in its intended purpose, and wasting time and creative energy on something that only subtracts from your game is about as smart as being alone in a Discord chat with Dr. Disrespect. Now let's move on to this little social faux pas here, with the DM announcing the fact that he has a girlfriend like it was some sad gender reveal. At first I was like, damn OP, at least pretend to care about what's going on in your friend's life. But then I remember that these people aren't even friends. OP has known this guy for about a few weeks at most, and yet this DM wants to spend a full third of his D&D session breaking everyone's immersion just to pass on information that could have been communicated with a literal single sentence outside of the game. You know, now that I really think about it, even if these people were friends, I'd still think that this exchange is pretty lame. It shows off an air of self-importance that's become all too recognizable in this age of digitally jerking yourself off for the perceived benefit of the internet. It really feels like our brains have been fried to the point of believing that everything in our lives needs to be shared for the sake of everyone else's entertainment and/or our own gratification. Like, you can't just date someone anymore. You gotta gather up the mob in the digital town square and scream, hear ye, I am charming, witty, and attractive enough to have bagged this 7 out of 10 baddie. I now permit all of you plebeians to bask in my glow. This clown world keeps honking its nose in my face, and it makes me want to honk myself off a bridge. DM decides we're going to another town. We get there, and we are asked to help with defending the city while they rebuild after a raid. Cool. Nothing happens, though. We spend the day sitting at guard stations waiting for raiders to return, and nothing ever shows up to the town. They thank us and send us on our way with some gold. I give mine to Paladin. DM decides we're returning to the first city. We have discovered that there was a lot of corruption there. The other party members in previous sessions, I mean. So we're coming up with a plan to take the city back from the organized crime ring that is running the place. We get to town, and apparently one of the other players is a very influential person in the world, because they were able to call in an airship of dozens of fighters for backup with this operation. At some point during this, I asked to make one of the relevant checks for an item I bought, so I roll with advantage. The DM asked why I rolled 2 d20s. I say, the item I bought gives advantage. The DM responds, yeah, advantage means +1 to the roll. I say, no, advantage means you roll twice and take the better result, or it gives a +5 if you're using the optional method. DM responds that, the double advantage means you get +2 to those checks. You don't get to roll more than once. So I tell them, okay, but that they should really change the wording to just say grants +2, because that's not what advantage means in 5e. They say that they know what it means, so it doesn't matter. Another player that was a rogue had a plan to use his extensive connections to trace the crime ring and find exactly how expansive it all was, so we can be sure to snuff it all out. The DM just brushes over it and ignores the idea. Instead, we head directly to a front owned by the ring. We show up to what is apparently the head of the crime syndicate's place of business and are prepared to fight. The DM rolls to see how hard the fight will be, and gets a natural 1. The DM then narrates the player that found the place easily defeating the boss and the rest of us cleaning up the henchmen. I once again was pretty upset. So, you just roll a single d20 and that means we don't get to do anything?
Yeah, they were just so confident that no one would ever stand up to them that they stood no chance. They didn't have weapons or anything.
An organized crime syndicate that has been running a city through force for years had zero plans for if anyone ever tried to stop them, to the point where none of them had weapons.
Yep, that's just the way the dice roll sometimes.
You probably shouldn't be letting major plot points in large battles be determined by a single D20 roll that the players have no influence in.
Sorry, it's just the way things go sometimes.
Yeah, but it shouldn't. The outcome of a major plot-centric fight should be based on how well the party prepares and uses their resources, not by the DM before it even starts. End of session 1. I messaged Paladin and he agrees that this was really bad, but he's gonna give it some time. I say the same. I find out between sessions that the DM has not read any of the books and learned how to play exclusively from the D&D Beyond character sheet and watching live play YouTube videos. Critical Role in Dimension 20. And in fact, they do not know how to read and have been teaching themselves. Yes, the DM never learned how to read as a child. Session 2 is going to be much less in-depth because literally nothing happens that any of the players have a say in. DM decides that we're all going to the bank so my character can set up a bank account. DM, my character lives a nomadic lifestyle scrounging for scraps. Why would I go to a bank?
To set up a bank account, of course.
Right, and I have 0 gold, so there's no money for me to put in a bank.
Well, you might in the future, so you should set one up now.
My character has already refused payment and charity twice in this game, though. I doubt he's ever gonna have any actual amount of money on him. He is a rogue, though, so I guess he could find something to do in a bank. DM quickly decides that there is 0 reason my character would want to be in a bank and has the party leave. We try to get horses from a stable so we can travel between towns faster, since the DM keeps deciding we're all leaving town multiple times per session. We are seeing if there are any horses that are trained not to flee from combat, like a war horse. The DM says,
"No, you'll have to find a war horse out in the wild. Stables aren't going to have them."
I'm a little confused as to why combat-trained horses would just be out in the wild, so I ask about it.
The war horses are bright red and have manes of fire.
That's not a war horse. That's the horse of war from the apocalypse.
Yeah, it's just a fun little reference.
So we can't have combat-trained horses because of Red Dead Redemption and the Bible?
Yeah, that's what the war horse is.
So, like, there's no militaries or militias in the country that ride horses then? The DM then changes the subject. We're leaving town again. The horror in this horror story is like if Shrek started DMing, cause this got liars. What's next? You gonna make your players roleplay filing their taxes or something equally anti-fun? And what in the name of failing public school systems is this not learning how to read thing? Like, we've had some dumb problem players and problem DMs star in videos on this channel, but I think this is the first time we've ever had a dude who was actually illiterate. But I will say hats off to the guy for appointing himself guardian of the rules in a game where 100% of the rules come from a book. That's the level of confidence or delusion I wish to achieve for myself one day. Low-key, I'm wondering how this guy even got this Discord game off the ground. I feel like being able to read is a pretty damn important thing for an environment where most of your interactions come in the form of text-based communication. This dude's probably stuck in a feedback loop between narrating what happens in the game and being narrated to by the text-to-speech genie living in his computer. Not that it matters because this game is fundamentally broken. Here, let me simulate what it's like to play in this guy's game.
I have a girlfriend. There are no rabbits. You leave town. The bad guys suck at being bad guy. You leave town. No make bank account. Never mind. Go catch a horse cause the Bible said so. You leave town, eat my ass.
2 sessions to do what I did in 10 seconds, and it's definitely not because I can magically DM faster. It really should go without saying, but your game should have some gameplay in it. Otherwise, it's got the same merit as listening to someone talk about their fantasy football team for 3 to 4 hours. Not playing fantasy football, mind you, listening to someone talk about playing fantasy football, which is a fate worse than death. Normally, I'm able to sit down and guide you through how a game could be salvaged or how we could learn from our various dumpster fire tours, but if you can't see how fundamentally broken this game is, then you're dumber than the DM and homie can't even read.
Boring homebrew mechanics that bog down the story, IRL dating life updates that break immersion, improv only for the purpose of taking away player agency, a complete lack of knowledge of the rules, and literal inability to learn them. What even is this game? We get to a new town and the place is being ransacked. We are hiding over a hill and watching the raid happen to try and get a good understanding of the situation when the big bad evil guy appears. We know this because the DM says, and then the BBEG appears. This is the BBEG for the campaign right here. She is very powerful, you do not want to mess with her. After the introduction, the DM hands the game over to his girlfriend that he announced in the previous session, revealing that she is playing the BBEG. She is also a player in the party, mind you. And this is the person that helped design the setting, so is sort of co-DMing. The BBEG starts talking to us. One of the players says, "She's in the middle of town and we're outside the town on the other side of the hill. How does she even know we're here?"
Great question, my love.
Oh, I could just see you guys.
There you go, she could see you.
I had a 29 for my stealth check.
I still see you.
Cool. So the BBEG, Big Bad Evil Girlfriend, monologues about how powerful she is and how we are powerless to stop her, and the DM asks if we want to stay and try and save the town or run away. I say, look guys, I think we can take her. I've got 10 years of experience DMing and more playing. The DM obviously is not aware of how the game works. I am fully confident that I can outmaneuver this enemy. Other players agreed that they want to try and defend the townspeople.
She is the maximum level.
Yeah, but this is 5e. I'm level 2 and I could probably take her. The difference in numbers between level 1 and 20 is like plus 10 at the max. Another player interjects here.
You're level 2? I'm level 8.
What? Another player.
Yeah, I thought 7 was the lowest level of any party member.
Oh, cool. I was told we were level 2 by DM last week. DM.
No, I'm pretty sure I said make yourself level 6 or 7.
Check your messages. It's like the first thing you told me. DM.
Huh. Yeah, I did say level 2. Oops. Level yourself up to level 3 then.
We still want to try and save the townspeople. Maybe we can avoid her specifically, or someone can keep her busy long enough to help people. Girlfriend then declares that she summons 150,000 troops to the city. The DM narrates how we all run for our lives because we have no chance of beating her, as the big bad evil guy calls in an army of thousands of soldiers who wear armor that resembles one of the other party members. Now is a good time for me to say that I am absolutely not having a good time in this campaign. But the other players make it more than worth it to deal with the DM. Remember how my sentient ghoul was deemed not fitting for the setting? The other player asks,
Do they look like me? Do they have an Autobot or a Decepticon emblem?
Sorry, wait, are you a Transformer? I thought you were a bugbear.
No, I'm half bear, half bat from the future that could transform into a robot because I'm partly cybernetic.
Okay, so the ghoul that is intelligent is too far-fetched for this world, but alien cyborg furry chimera from the future is perfectly fitting. Gotcha. The DM narrates us running away and going to the next town, where the invasion of the big bad evil guy is also happening. They narrate a girl being kidnapped, and the party says that she is the love interest of another player, who is not at the session. And the group agrees that they would want to try and free her because the party member would be upset if we let her get taken without even trying to save her. I agree and charge in.
Oh, they are so far away. You wouldn't be able to reach them in time. You'd have to be able to move 45 feet at least.
I'm a rogue. Move speed 30, cunning action dash 30, action dash 30. That's 90 feet. I can cover the distance there and back.
Well, there are guards between you and her.
I'll take my chances. I've got a pretty good AC, and with your roll to dodge mechanic and uncanny dodge, I'm willing to risk it to save her.
There is also 40 guards surrounding her.
They have 40 guards escorting this one random girl? Is she like a princess?
No, they just really want her kidnapped.
Okay, I guess I'll try to push through them. The girlfriend interjects.
The BBEG teleports in. She laughs a wicked laugh about how futile your attempts are, then teleports the girl away.
Oh, cool. Great. Excellent. The session ends, and another player messages me asking me what they missed this session. I respond with nothing that any player had any say in. 2 sessions in, 10 hours of gameplay with 0 combats, 0 skill checks that weren't instantly nullified by an NPC immediately anyway. I didn't bother mentioning it, but I have rolled 3 total skill checks, all stealth, and all 3 I was spotted anyway despite getting 23 plus. 0 decisions made by any player. The DM just tells the party where they're going, asks what they want to do, and then makes an excuse to not let that happen and tells them what they actually do instead. I would say the DM should write a book, but they can't read. End of story. Well, alien cyborg furry chimera from the future is definitely something that I read out loud. The man's over here literally allowing Decepticons into his game now. Maybe it's a subtle hint that he wants to transform his game into something good, but that could also just be me having too much faith in the guy. So, at what point does a role-playing game stop being a role-playing game? Because there is no game and there is no roleplay here. Unless you count the DM and his girlfriend role-playing having IQs that match room temperature. I'm genuinely stuck between whether these two are either too smooth-brained to understand how unfun their little tag team shenanigans are, or too narcissistic. Low-key, it's probably both. Well, at least you don't gotta worry about this guy retaliating against you for posting about him on Reddit because it's not like he can read it. Unless he comes across this video, then in that case, hey DM, be sure to like and subscribe. Watch some more of my videos and maybe you'll learn how to DM in a way that doesn't disappoint your parents, but I digress. I understand thugging out a bad D&D game if it's for the sake of friends or family, but this guy has shown no interest in doing anything other than wasting your time, which I don't know if you've forgotten this, is limited to all of us poor souls trapped on this mortal plane. But according to an update down in the comments section, OP has splintered off and offered to run his own game for all of the other players, and even extended an olive branch to the DM, who declined to join. Man, having an allergy to fun really is crippling, isn't it? But maybe it's for the best, considering how the constant domineering favoritism and inconsistency of this guy's rulings turned his campaign into the role-playing equivalent of being gaslighted for fun. But you know what? I think that's a good idea, viewer. We should look at this week's fan art. What? You didn't say I should transition into Gallery of the Drake. Aw, you're so cute when you forget things you only said a few seconds ago. Okay, your slipping sanity aside, let's take a look at this week's Gallery of the Drake. This week's fan art comes from viewer Spencer Solomon, who depicts the Drake perched upon the millions of fedoras taken from neckbeards hoping to claim treasures from his hoard of cringe. To this very day, scholars find themselves pondering what exactly it is that the ancient reptile does with them. The world may never know. I'm like 78% certain that this is the exact fedora Harrison Ford wore while filming Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. If you wear it, you will definitely look as good as he did. There is no way that watching that movie was the only time a woman has ever felt lust for a man in a fedora. $60 and it's yours.
But isn't that a trilby?
He knows the difference between a fedora and a trilby. Hey Larry,
What's up?
this guy knows the difference between a fedora and a trilby.
Let's point at him and laugh.
Thank you again, Spencer Solomon, for submitting your art. If you'd like to see your fan art featured in Gallery of the Drake, be sure to send it to the email in my About section. Fan art is my favorite part of doing YouTube, and it means the world to me that I can inspire artists like you to create artwork like this. With the story over and artwork displayed, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and send in your fan art. And if you feel like supporting the channel further, my Patreon and merchandise links are in the description. I would like to thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you next time in the Den of the Drake.